Hello and welcome. Live from New Delhi, you're watching DDI India NewsHour, India's voice to the world. I'm Gautam Roy, and first up, our top stories. Russia's Vladimir Putin says the West should understand what it's playing with when it comes to the use of Western weapons by Ukraine in Russian territory. The stormy Donald Trump hush money trial comes to its last stage after 6 weeks. Prosecution and defense are making final arguments for the jury's consideration. A prolonged heat wave scorches South Asia. Spots in India's capital record a maximum temperature of 49.9 degrees Celsius. Mercury touches 52 degrees Celsius in Pakistan. And Papua New Guinea orders thousands to evacuate from the path of a still active landslide, which is already estimated to have buried 2,000 people. India announces $1 million to assist PNG. South Asia is being scorched by an unrelenting heat wave. Maximum temperature is at least two localities in India's capital, Delhi, soared to 49.9 degrees Celsius. In another part of neighbouring Pakistan, maximum temperature was recorded at 52 degrees Celsius. But apart from the heat, parts of northeast India have been ravaged by a cyclone, which turned into a deep depression later on. While the Indian government has announced an assistance of $1 million for Papua New Guinea, which is still reeling from a deadly landslide. Here's more.
India is witnessing extreme heat across the northern part. Severe heat wave has gripped Delhi, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan for the past few days. Summer temperatures often peak in May, but scientists have predicted more intense heat wave than usual this year, largely caused by fewer non-monsoon thundershowers and an active but weakening El Nino weather phenomenon. The India Meteorological Department has said that there will be no relief to residents from the unrelenting heat. A red alert has also been issued for the region.
At present, you can say around about 15 days, continuously heat wave to severe heat wave conditions are prevailing over northwest India.
On the other hand, storms and rainfall-induced landslides associated with cyclone Rimal killed at least 21 people and injured several others, including school children, across many northeastern states in India on Tuesday. In Mizoram, 13 people were killed and a few others were reported missing after a stone quarry collapsed on Tuesday. The incident occurred on National Highway 6 on the outskirts of the capital Aizawl. India's President and Vice President condoled the deaths of people in the incident. In Bangladesh, Cyclone Rimal has claimed at least 13 lives with more than 150,000 homes damaged. Heavy rains have flooded fish farms and damaged croplands in the southern part of the country, causing heavy financial losses and damage. Nearly 3 million people were without electricity. In Papua New Guinea, thousands of residents were ordered to evacuate from the path of the still active landslide after parts of a mountain collapsed, burying at least 2,000 people. Heavy equipment and aid have been slow to arrive because of the treacherous terrain and tribal unrest in the remote area, forcing the military to escort convoys of relief teams. Officials said that the odds of finding survivors were slim, even as relief teams have trickled into the difficult-to-access northern Enga region of the Pacific nation since Friday.
Defense forces are there, police forces are there, local government is there, health workers, UN agencies, local and international partners. But it's an extraordinarily complicated relief operation because, leaving aside the fact that it's a very remote area, this was not only a very significant landslide, but the terrain is continuing to move.
Elsewhere, the ongoing storms and tornadoes in the United States have claimed at least 21 lives across 4 states over the Memorial Day weekend. Residents of Fort Worth in Texas woke up to the sound of hail as powerful and severe storms rolled through the state on Tuesday morning. The National Weather Service predicted the severe weather would continue in Texas and southern Oklahoma adding that excessive rainfall could trigger flash flooding in both states into Wednesday. Dheeraj Das's report, DD India.
And the latest has also been a cloud burst in Kerala's Kochi, right here at home in India. Now, as a close friend and partner under the Forum of Indo-Pacific Islands Cooperation and as a gesture of solidarity with the people of Papua New Guinea, India extended an immediate relief assistance of $1 million to support relief, rehabilitation and reconstruction efforts in that country. Earlier, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi condoled the deaths in Papua New Guinea landslide. He said India is ready to offer all possible support and assistance. And India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has noted on Tuesday that India stands out globally for its growth, stability, confidence and leadership today. He made these remarks at the Viksit Bharat at 2047 conference in Himachal Pradesh's Shimla city.
अगर कुल मिला के आप देखें कि दुनिया में ब्राइट स्पॉट कहाँ है, कहाँ ग्रोथ है, कहाँ स्टेबिलिटी है, कहाँ कॉन्फिडेंस है, कहाँ लीडरशिप, आप जानते हैं कि वो भारत में। हमारे बारे में 10 साल पहले बहुत सारी चीज़ें कही जाती थी और हम जैसे लोग जो देश की सेवा में बाहर जाते थे, हम लोगों को बहुत सुनना भी पड़ता था। आज जो हमारे बारे में कहा जाता है कि ये भारत है जहां हर दिन 30 किलोमीटर की हाईवे बनती है, हर दिन 14 किलोमीटर की रेलवे ट्रैक लगाए जाते हैं, जहां हर साल 8 नए एयरपोर्ट बनते हैं, हर साल 2 नए मेट्रो बनते हैं। 10 साल पहले हमारे इनकम टैक्स जो पेयर्स जो थे वो 3.5 करोड़ थे, आज जो हैं 8 करोड़ से ज़्यादा है। पिछले 10 साल में 6 करोड़ नए प्रोविडेंट फंड के सब्सक्राइबर्स, पिछले दशक में करीब उतने नए कॉलेजेस और यूनिवर्सिटीज़ स्थापित हुए हैं जो पिछले 70 साल में, जितना 70 साल में हुआ पिछले 10 साल में उसका हमने दुगना किया।
Now, India's Health Secretary Apurva Chandra has addressed one of the 3 main committees at the 77th session of World Health Assembly in Geneva, Switzerland on the 27th of May. Chandra, appointed as the committee's head, emphasized India's dedication to Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, that is, the world is one family, and universal health coverage, highlighting India's impact in global health through community interventions, digital innovations and a strong commitment to sustainable development goals. India's Health Secretary also met Google's Chief Health Officer, Dr. Karen DeSalvo, on the sidelines of the World Health Assembly in Geneva.
The World Health Assembly's theme this year, All for Health, Health for All, is much aligned with the core values and the ethos of India. That is Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, which means the world is one family. During COVID-19 pandemic, India has not only managed the crisis within the country, but also supplied vaccines and health-related products across the world, embodying the spirit of one world, one family. This philosophy guides our efforts to promote well-being for all, facilitate universal healthcare coverage, and achieve health-related sustainable development goals.
And now it's time to get you the latest on the world's largest election that is unfolding in India. Now, as part of final campaign efforts in West Bengal for the last phase of India's parliamentary elections 2024, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a mega roadshow in Kolkata on Tuesday. The PM paid floral tributes to the statue of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose in Kolkata as well. Now, the 7th and the final phase of India's parliamentary elections 2024 will be held on the 1st of June. During the 7th phase of polling, voters from 57 Lok Sabha constituencies spread across 8 states and union territories will exercise their franchise.
India is all set to vote in the 7th and final phase on June 1. Political leaders are leaving no stone unturned to woo voters. Prime Minister and senior BJP leader Narendra Modi addressed a rally in Dumka in Jharkhand. Later in the day, he went to West Bengal and addressed a rally followed by a road show. In Grand Barasat rally, he pledged to tackle corruption in Bengal and uplift its culture and economy significantly.
जो कोई भी टीएमसी के गुना सामने लाता है, टीएमसी उनको टारगेट करती है। ये सब अपने वोट बैंक को खुश करने के लिए, वोट जिहाद को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए किया जा रहा है।
Senior BJP leader and Home Minister Amit Shah was in Odisha today, where he slammed the Congress and BJD.
नवीन बाबू, रत्न भंडार की चाबी कौन चोर गया? ओडिया जनता को बताइए, रत्न भंडार की डुप्लीकेट चाबी आपने बनाई है या नहीं बनाई है?
Opposition is also campaigning hard. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi and Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav addressed rallies in Uttar Pradesh's Rudrapur and Varanasi.
निवेश के नाम पर हमें और आपको सपने दिखाए, नौकरियां छिन गईं, आरक्षण छिन गया, और जो संस्थाएं नौकरी दे भी सकती थी, आरक्षण दे भी सकती थी, उन संस्थाओं को भी इन्होंने बेच दिया।
Congress's Mallikarjun Kharge held rallies in Punjab.
25 उसमें गारंटी हमने दी है, तो ये 25 गारंटी, उसके अलावा 10 केजी फ्री अनाज लोगों को हम देंगे।
The voting will take place in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Odisha, West Bengal, Jharkhand and Chandigarh. As many as 904 candidates are in the fray from these 57 Lok Sabha constituencies. With Bureau Inputs, Rahul Upadhyay's report for DD India.
And there's more to come in election updates on DD India NewsHour, including a look at the transformation of India's ancient city Varanasi as it heads to polls in the final phase as Prime Minister Narendra Modi's constituency. And we'll also get you a special look at India's new parliament as it marks its first anniversary.
Voice of a rising aspirational world. Stories of challenges, struggles and accomplishment. A world battling conflict, hunger and poverty. Embracing growth, development, science and technology. A voice of progress, a voice of unity. Watch Voice of the Global South with me, Akshay Dongre, only on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India NewsHour. I'm Gautam Roy. Now, it's said that if you want to see the transformational journey of Varanasi, take a tour of different ghats, that is banks of the holy city of Varanasi along the Ganges. Deepika Mehta reports on the city's glorious past and its journey of transformation over the last 1 decade while retaining its cultural identity. Varanasi goes to polls on the 1st of June.
Well, Varanasi is one of the oldest cities of India. And when we talk about transformation, many say that visit the ghats of Varanasi and see how Varanasi has transformed over the past years.
Varanasi or Kashi is one of the oldest living cities in the world. The numerous ghats of the city are a standing testimony to its rich cultural and spiritual past. Now, the city is witnessing a subtle yet important change in its landscape and infrastructure. From having the oldest temples to its first ever floating CNG pump, it is now all set to inaugurate 3 helipads on the ghat. The city is witnessing a growing economy accompanied with rapid development. Cultural heritage and its religious legacy. The Ghats are providing employment opportunities not only to men but also women.
Been living here since childhood. Kashi wasn't like this before. It was very dirty. The Ghat have been developed in the past years. This is giving us employment. It is all given by Modi ji. We want his government to come.
We have seen a lot of changes. Kashi has changed. The government is giving us all. I now want more opportunities for us so that we can work whatever we want to and earn for ourselves.
Ferry boats have now become a major source of employment apart from being a big tourist attraction.
Kashi has changed a lot. From Kashi corridor to development on all ghats, we now also have a helipad point over here. It has seen a transformational journey.
The culture and tradition mixed with modern facilities make Kashi the perfect destination for domestic and foreign tourists.
I
wish that we could have spirituality schools here in Kashi. Spirituality should be inculcated officially in all the youngsters here. Since this is Kashi, the land of gods, it is important to have official spiritual schools in Kashi for the young generation.
Kashi or Varanasi will go to the polls on June 1st in the last phase of Lok Sabha elections 2024, and people of Kashi aim to vote for development, stability and increased income sources for themselves.
The divine city of Kashi is not just a tourism spot, but this city depicts the rich cultural heritage of India. This is one of the oldest cities, which is now witnessing a transformational journey across Varanasi. With camera person Sanjeev, this is Deepika reporting from Kashi for DD India from Assi Ghat.
And let's now get you an update on the campaigning for the final round of phase of India's national elections. Polling will be taking place on the 1st of June for 57 seats. And to talk about it, we have with us two of my DD India colleagues. We've joined by Deepika from Gorakhpur in Uttar Pradesh, and we also have with us Akshay Dongre joining us from Shimla in Himachal Pradesh. Let me first come to you, Deepika. There are 13 seats that are going to polls on the 1st of June in the final phase in Uttar Pradesh, and you're in Gorakhpur, which is Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath's own bastion, really, so a prestige battle for him too. So how is it reflecting the overall contest for this final phase in UP?
Good evening, Gautam. You said it very rightly. It is all about prestige of UP's Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, because we've got a very interesting contest over here, and interestingly both the candidates are Bhojpuri celebrities. From BJP we have Bhojpuri singer and actor Ravi Kishan. On the other hand, from SP, Samajwadi Party side, we have Kajal Nishad. Kajal Nishad is also a Bhojpuri actor. Now both of them are putting their best foot forward, reaching out to large number of people. We are following them today since 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's almost dark. It's pitch dark over here, and the campaigning just concluded in some parts of Gorakhpur, and both of them are trying their best to woo the voters on the grounds of job security, on the grounds of providing better facilities to them. On one side, where BJP says that they will provide a film city to Gorakhpur, and they want to see more stars coming out and emerge from Gorakhpur city. On the other hand, SP promises zero electricity bill to the local people and especially the rural people. SP has also got to say that whatever the BJP government has fielded in terms of monetary benefits, they will double the monetary benefits straight from day one if they come into power. So these are the type of different benefit plans that they are offering to all the voters here across UP. And since it is a very much matter of prestige for UP CM Yogi Adityanath, he is also pushing his best foot forward. He is also doing aggressive campaigning in all parts of UP. In afternoon today, he was accompanying Ravi Kishan in one of the major rallies here, and he quoted Ravi Kishan as the Khalnayak or the superhero from this place. So he is having a lot of confidence in Ravi Kishan, and Ravi Kishan is also leaving no stone unturned. And on the other hand, SP's Kajal Nishad, she faced a heart attack a few months ago. Then she fractured her leg. But then again, she is campaigning and continuously campaigning in her cars and going into the rural parts of the city also to woo the voters in the last days of the polling, ahead of the polling, Gautam.
All right. Now, let me come to you, Akshay. You're in the Queen of Hills. Shimla, Himachal has only 4 seats as far as the Lok Sabha is concerned, and the BJP holds all of them currently in the two-way fight with the Congress. What can we expect on the 1st and then the 4th of June?
Well, Gautam, a very interesting thing that is, widely getting missed in the Lok Sabha elections in Himachal is the fact that this perhaps is also not that important of an election, that it is another one, then there is another one on the same day. That is going to be the by-elections in Himachal Pradesh, where out of 68, the Congress party currently only holds 34 seats. And 6 people who had voted against Congress's whip in the Rajya Sabha elections, they have been expelled from party. They were expelled from party last year. Then they have now joined BJP, and there are by-elections happening on 6 seats here in Himachal as well. And on all of those 6 seats, these defectors are BJP candidates. So the very interesting thing that if BJP manages to get all 6 of these seats, then the Sukhu government of the Congress party is in complete danger in the state. Then the stability of the government will be in question. So that is perhaps the biggest focus point here of the political leaders as well, that to save a state from getting from slipping away from the firm hold of the Congress party. So that is there as well. Quite interestingly, same day elections happening on 1st of June. However, when we talk about the Lok Sabha elections, then yes, that is important as well. Perhaps, but not that important as it is the question of the state government right now here. However, you are right that in 2019, BJP managed to sweep all 4 seats. In 2014 as well, or 4 seats. And when you go back to 2009 too, BJP got 3 out of 4 seats. So in a way, for the national elections, BJP has had an upper hand. But if it manages to win all 6 seats during the by-elections as well, the legislative assembly seats, then it will also be in a position to challenge the government directly of the Chief Minister of Himachal.
All right. So fairly precarious there if this by-election also swings the way of the BJP. Let me now bring in Amritpal Singh as well, joining us from Anandpur Sahib in Punjab. Amrit, all 13 parliamentary seats in Punjab are up for grabs on the 1st of June. Now, how keen is the contest and how is it different from the way things were back in 2019?
Well, one thing that's different from 2019 is that the alliance partners have changed. At that time, the Shiromani Akali Dal and the BJP were in an alliance. This is the first election that they are contesting without alliance. They are contesting separately. They're fighting each other. The Congress and the AAP are in an alliance called the India Bloc at the national level, but here in the state they are contesting against each other. BSP for the first time is going alone. So it is a very overcrowded constituency. Add to that independents, hardliners like say Amritpal Singh or Simranjit Maan in Sangrur, who have a sizable following. They may or may not win the election, but they can, in an election, it's also about, if not winning, about how much harm you can cause to the other. So that complicates the matter. In most seats, it's a 4-cornered contest. In some seats, it's a 5-cornered contest. Also, in 2019, it was a triangular contest, Congress, AAP and the SAD BJP combined. So that has changed, and that changes the political dynamic. For example, the BJP, there is sizable farmer ire against the BJP, but that is also polarizing the Hindu vote in the BJP's favor. So you might see the BJP's vote share increase in these elections, even if that does not translate down to seats. I'm not saying that the BJP may not get a seat. The BJP, if the constituency is so overcrowded, if you get a certain amount of vote share, you may just sail through. So that is what makes it very different from 2019, Gautam.
Yeah, and the BJP has swelled its ranks as well from a lot of people who have switched sides, and that may well be a factor, but we'll have to wait and see what happens, Amrit, on the 1st and then the 4th of June. Thanks a lot for joining us for the time being, Amritpal Singh, as well as Akshay Dongre and Deepika Mahato. Now, the 28th of May marks a significant milestone in the Indian democracy. 1 year ago to this day, the country's new parliament building was inaugurated. It ushered in a new era of India's legislative process. Kirat Chawla revisited that journey and those milestones, this architectural marvel that stands in the heart of New Delhi, symbolizing the strength and growth of the world's largest democracy.
28th May, a historic date in the history of Indian democracy. It was on this day in 2023 the new parliament building was inaugurated. The state-of-the-art building, which is part of India's Central Vista redevelopment project, now houses the Lok Sabha, lower house and the Rajya Sabha, the upper house of the Indian Parliament, with provisions for further expansion amidst the growing needs of the world's largest democracy. The new Parliament House was first used for official business on September 19, 2023, when a special session was convened. A year has passed since the grand building located in the heart of India's capital, New Delhi, was dedicated to the nation. Amidst the grandeur as it now stands in its splendor, charting the course of India's future from its premises, here is a glance at the timeline of the building that epitomizes the largest democracy of the world. On September 2019, the master plan for redevelopment of Central Vista Avenue was conceived. The Tata Projects Limited won the contract for the construction of the new Parliament building in September 2020. The architectural consultancy work of the building was won by HCP Designing Plan in October 2020. It was on December 10, 2020, the foundation stone of the new Parliament building was eventually laid. On July 11, 2022, the statue of the country's national emblem was unveiled on top of the new Parliament building. The main structure of the new Parliament was finally completed on 28 August 2022. Finally, on May 28, 2023, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the new Parliament building along with his fellow parliamentarians. And on September 19, 2023, a special session was convened in the new Parliament building, marking the official functioning of the new building. Designed to be earthquake resistant, the building features large seating capacities in both chambers, 888 seats in the Lok Sabha and 384 in the Rajya Sabha. Unlike the old building, it does not have a central hall, but the Lok Sabha chamber can house 1,272 members during a joint session. The Lok Sabha chamber also houses the Senghal, gold-plated silver sceptre, which marked the transition from the old to new building, establishing the latter as the new officer of governance of the Indian democracy. In its first year, the new Parliament building has already witnessed significant legislative activities, including the passage of the Women's Reservation Bill, marking a new era in India's democratic journey. Kirat Chawla for DD India.
And Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla called the new Parliament House a historic moment in the life of India as well on its first anniversary.
आज के दिन एक वर्ष पूर्व देश के प्रधानमंत्री माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने इस भवन का लोकार्पण किया। 2 साल 7 महीनों के अंदर ये भवन बना, जो हमारे देश के आत्मनिर्भर का मॉडल भी है और हमारे 140 करोड़ देश की आकांक्षाओं, अपेक्षाओं का प्रतीक भी है। इस संसद भवन के अंदर नए संसद में महत्वपूर्ण विषयों पर चर्चा हुई। भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था पर चर्चा हुई। 2047 में भारत कैसा होगा, उसके लिए भी यहाँ चर्चा हुई।
In an interview to a news channel, a news agency, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has discussed the ongoing general elections, emphasizing the BJP-led NDA's commitment to development. Prime Minister Modi also spoke on many other important issues.
दुनिया को चिंता थी कि इतने बड़ा देश दुनिया के लिए संकट बन जाएगा, लेकिन यही तो देश संकट तो न बना, देश को भी संभाला, दुनिया को संभाली। दुनिया को दवाइयां चाहिए, दुनिया को वैक्सीन चाहिए, और आज दुनिया के कई देशों से आप जाएंगे, जैसे कि हम इंडिया का, ओ थैंक यू, आपने वैक्सीन दिया था। हर भारतीय को लोग थैंक कहते हैं जी, प्रधानमंत्री को थैंक है, हर हिंदुस्तानी को थैंक्स कहते हैं, और वो पब्लिकली एक्नॉलेज करते हैं जी। तो ये भारत के लिए मेरे गर्व की बात है, मतलब है भारत के सामर्थ्य।
And emphasizing on the importance of a self-reliant India, Prime Minister Modi said that in the next 5 years, he would like to focus on vocal for local and promote an Atmanirbhar Bharat.
आप आत्मनिर्भर भारत की मजाक उड़ाएंगे, क्या लॉजिक है जी? क्या कोई अमेरिका वाले इतनी ऊंचाई पर होने के बाद भी बड़े गर्व से कहते हो कि भाई बी अमेरिकन बाय अमेरिकन? तो मुझे आत्मनिर्भर भारत कहने में संकोच क्यों होना चाहिए? मैं वोकल फॉर लोकल की बात क्यों ना करूं? मैं डिफेंस में कब तक ये दुनिया से माल खरीदता रहूंगा भाई? मैं खरीदार बन गया। आज भी मेरे देश का 2-3 चीजें हैं जैसे जो मैं आने वाले 5 साल में मैं ज्यादा मेहनत करना चाहता हूं। जैसे हम वैसे तो एग्रीकल्चर कंट्री है, कृषि प्रधान देश है, लेकिन कृषि प्रधान देश होने के बाद भी करीब 1 लाख करोड़ रुपया खाने का तेल हम बाहर से लाते हैं। खाने का तेल, चलो पेट्रोलियम के लिए हमारी मुसीबत है तो हम लाते हैं, समझ रहे थे। अब मैं उस पर मिशन मोड पे काम करना चाहता हूं, और मैं भारत आत्मनिर्भर कैसे बने, बनना चाहिए। फायदा क्या होगा? मेरे किसान को फायदा होगा जी। अगर ऑयल मेरे देश के अब खाड़ी का तेल की झाड़ी का तेल, तो मेरे खेत का तेल होगा तो मुझे ज्यादा फायदा होगा।
Let's now take a look at some other updates coming in from around the world. Residents of Fort Worth in Texas woke up to the sound of hail as powerful and severe storms rolled through the state on Tuesday morning. The National Weather Service predicted the severe weather would continue in Texas and southern Oklahoma, adding that excessive rainfall could trigger flash flooding in both states into Wednesday. The International Atomic Energy Agency, or the IAEA, reached an agreement with Russia on the safety of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant in Ukraine. The IAEA chief met with a delegation of Russia's nuclear agency in the western Russian city of Kaliningrad. Taiwan's parliament on Tuesday passed a reform package to increase oversight of the government. The new reforms gave lawmakers the power to ask private companies to disclose information deemed relevant by parliamentarians. The latest reforms faced widespread opposition as people staged protests outside Parliament. Fitch Ratings has downgraded Bangladesh's financial rating on Monday to B+ from BB- owing to weakening of Bangladesh's external buffers. The country's forex reserves are down substantially due to continued foreign exchange intervention and persistent use of informal channels for remittances. And still to come on DD India NewsHour. Israeli tanks are spotted in the heart of Rafah city in southern Gaza. Spain, Norway and Ireland grant official recognition to Palestine. And closing arguments are underway after 6 weeks of trial in the stormy Donald Trump hush money case.
We just don't bring you the news as it unfolds. We get to the heart of the matter.
We don't just present facts. We demystify complex social, political and economic events.
We break stories that shape the world's present and future because you deserve the truth.
I am Tanvi Taneja from New Delhi.
I'm Ollie Barrett from London.
I'm Nick Harper from Washington, D.C.
Join us on DD India Global Monday to Friday at these times.
Now, former US President Donald Trump's criminal hush money trial is nearing an end, with the closing arguments being heard on Tuesday. After more than 5 weeks, a panel of 12 jurors under Justice Juan Merchan will hear closing arguments, with deliberations likely beginning on Wednesday. Trump has pleaded not guilty to 34 charges of falsifying business records to cover up a hush money payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 presidential elections. Let's get you more on this. We're joined by DD India's Mitch McCann from New York. Mitch, what can you tell us about the latest that is going on in court? Donald Trump present there, and his defense attorney is at the moment trying to completely discredit the prosecution's case. So which way do you think are things headed, and how much longer will it take?
Well, it's going to take a few more hours. Good afternoon to you. Even before court started this morning, Donald Trump arrived outside the courtroom to awaiting reporters, where he really rallied against the judge. He said Juan Merchan was both corrupt and conflicted, according to reporting from outside the courtroom. And it's then reported that Donald Trump started reading excerpts from a Wall Street Journal article in which he kept interrupting himself with his own commentary on the reporting. Now, as is the law here in New York, the defense goes first in closing arguments. And Donald Trump's lawyer, Todd Blanche, as you say, opened his argument this morning saying President Trump is innocent. He said the district attorney for the Southern District of New York has not met the burden of proof for a conviction in this case. Of course, Donald Trump faces 34 charges of falsifying business records in a hush money payment scheme to the pornography star Stormy Daniels over an alleged affair that happened in 2006. Now, Donald Trump, of course, says this never happened at all. Now, the prosecution has talked a lot about one key witness in the couple of times that he's been on the stand over the last few weeks. That's Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's former fixer and former lawyer. Now, the defense has again painted them this morning as someone who should not be believed. Todd Blanche told the jury that he is not a man of integrity, and he's someone that they should not give too much weight to. They should not give weight to his evidence that they've heard over the last couple of weeks. So the defense really rallying against Michael Cohen. But we also saw something really interesting outside the court today, and that was the Hollywood actor Robert De Niro, who turned up to campaign on behalf of the US President Joe Biden. Now, Robert De Niro was flanked by 2 police officers who were involved in the January 6 Capitol riots. And here's a little bit of what Robert De Niro had to say. He said, "We don't want to wake up again after the election saying, 'What, again? My God, what the hell have we done?' Donald Trump wants to destroy not only the city, but the country, and eventually he would destroy the world." So a lot going on inside the court today, but as we've seen, plenty happening outside it as well.
Right. And so far, the kind of arguments that we've seen the defense make, we've seen Donald Trump's Todd Blanche make, mainly targeting, as you said, Cohen and not Stormy Daniels herself, and Trump himself never testified as well. So what can you tell us about these aspects?
Yeah, that's right. Michael Cohen is, as you say, one of the key people who gave evidence in this case. Now, Michael Cohen says that Donald Trump knew about the hush money scheme and he approved the hush money scheme. And there were a series of documents and phone call recordings. It's important to note that the prosecutors are already aware that the defense is going to rally and criticize Michael Cohen, but they say this case is not about Michael Cohen. It's about all the evidence. It's about the phone records. It's about the recordings, all these sort of things, they say. And they've also argued twice that there should be a mistrial because of the evidence that Stormy Daniels gave. But Judge Juan Merchan said there will not be a mistrial, and he continued from there. It's interesting to note or consider the impact this may have on the presidential election. It's only 5 months away now, and it could be significant as we head into a fully fledged campaign season.
Right. And how much longer do you think a verdict in this case would take? Because right now it's the defense that is making its closing arguments. Then it will be the prosecution. There might be a rebuttal, I don't know. And then it's over to the jury, and the jury is expected to come up with the verdict. And how much time is there, an outer limit for that, a time limit for that?
Yeah, well, we're hearing from the defence, as you mentioned this morning. We could hear from prosecutors later today into early tomorrow, and it's possible the jury could start deliberating as early as tomorrow afternoon, and it's unknown how long they may take in their decision on Donald Trump. Now, there are 3 options that could happen here. The jury could find Donald Trump guilty, not guilty, or there is a possibility here that not all jurors will be able to agree on a verdict, and it could end up in a hung jury, which may result in a mistrial, which means the district attorney would then have to decide whether or not they go through this process again. And most experts and law scholars here in New York say that if there is a mistrial, it is unlikely to go to trial again before the presidential election in November, and it's anyone's guess what could happen after that. But if there is a mistrial or a not guilty verdict, you can expect that Donald Trump will chalk that up as a win, and that's something we're likely to hear a lot from him in the coming days. But there could be jury deliberations as early as tomorrow afternoon.
All right, let's see which way it goes. It's an unprecedented moment in American political history as well, where a possible presidential candidate, a former president, has been under trial for such a criminal case. Thanks a lot for joining us for the moment. Now, several Israeli tanks advanced to the center of Rafah on Tuesday for the first time after 3 weeks of a ground operation in the southern Gazan city. Tanks were spotted near the Al-Awda Mosque, a central Rafah landmark. The Israeli military said that its forces continued to operate in the Rafah area. However, they did not comment on reported advances into the city's center. And in the meanwhile, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that the airstrike in Rafah was not intended to cause civilian casualties, and the incident will be investigated. Israel on Monday carried out a military operation targeting a Hamas compound in Rafah, which caused a fire in the area, resulting in the death of at least 45 people. Netanyahu reiterated his commitment to bring back all Israeli hostages from Gaza.
In Rafah, we already evacuated about 1 million non-combatants residents, and despite our utmost effort not to harm non-combatants, something unfortunately went tragically wrong. We are investigating the incident and will reach conclusions because this is our policy.
On the neutral.
And DD India's Sarah Coates has sent us this report from Tel Aviv.
Tanks and other armoured vehicles are now moving into the central part of Rafah, and this is despite this growing international condemnation in the wake of Sunday's strike that killed at least 45 people. Now, the IDF has also given an operational update of its activities on the ground. It says it is continuing its offensive, but is trying not to harm civilians, adding that troops have found Hamas tunnels and also weapons, with the military also deploying an additional brigade to Rafah. And this, of course, we do need to remember, is where the Israelis claim the remaining 4 Hamas battalions are stationed, and potentially some of the remaining 120 Israeli hostages that are still being held in the Gaza Strip. Now, pictures are also coming in, Tanvi, showing people fleeing in absolute fear. And we've heard statements from the UN Palestinian Refugee Agency, UNRWA, saying that no place is safe in Gaza, no body is safe in Gaza, describing it as a living hell.
Now, Spain, Ireland and Norway on Tuesday officially recognized the Palestinian state. The 3 countries said they hope their decision will push other European Union countries to follow suit. In a televised address, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said that Spain is recognizing a Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital, unified under the Palestinian National Authority, including the Gaza Strip and the West Bank.
The recognition of Palestine is not against anyone, least of all Israel, a friendly nation that Spain values and holds in high regard, and with whom we aim to foster the strongest possible relationship. Furthermore, this decision reflects our absolute rejection of Hamas, a terrorist organization who is against the two-state solution.
The economy and the health of Britain's waterways has always been the major areas of focus on the election campaign trail. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has proposed tax cuts for millions of pensioners in his latest pledge, whereas opposition leader Keir Starmer has asked undecided voters to trust the Labour Party to safeguard the country's economy and security. DD India's Oli Bhatt reports from London.
Well, Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves is the woman who wants to be the UK's next Chancellor of the Exchequer, the next finance minister for the country. And what she and the Labour Party are trying to do is position themselves as the party that people trust when it comes to business and the economy. They've been working on that for some time, and today she's been delivering a major speech on the issue, insisting that she would lead the most pro-business treasury in the UK's history. Now, the Conservatives say that actually Labour aren't setting out enough detail to any of their economic plans, that they are very short on detail about how exactly they would run the economy. But the Labour Party insists that actually the Conservatives have put up taxes and mismanaged the economy in recent years, and indeed over the last 14 years of being in power in one form or another. The Conservatives also have an economic message on Tuesday. They've been talking up what they say is a tax cut for millions of pensioners here in Britain. And when it comes to what at times is the third party in UK politics, but not always, the Liberal Democrats, the Lib Dem leader Ed Davey is perhaps the one that has grabbed the most coverage in terms of pictures on the campaign trail in the last few hours, and that's because he has fallen into a lake while paddleboarding. He was on Lake Windermere, insisting though that there was a serious message to what he was doing there. He's been talking about sewage and untreated water being poured into UK waterways by water companies and other companies up and down Britain. He says that the UK government hasn't been holding to account companies that act in that way, and therefore there are too many waterways in the United Kingdom which simply aren't clean enough, aren't healthy enough, and aren't the types of water, bodies of water that people are able to swim and have their leisure activities in. So that's why he was on Lake Windermere, but falling into Lake Windermere possibly means he gets more coverage for that particular photo opportunity than had he stayed on that paddleboard. Ollie Barrett in London, DD India.
Now, in a collaborative effort, the Indian Embassy in Muscat and the National Archives of India, that's the NAI, completed a first project to archive historical documents of the Indian diaspora in Oman. The event saw the participation of 32 prominent Indian families from Gujarat, the presence of whom in Oman dates back to 250 years. This was the NIA's first overseas venture in digitizing diaspora documents and supported by Oman's National Records and Archives Authority.
The Government of India, under the leadership of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, has always emphasized a sustained and better connection of India with its diaspora. The unique digitization project that we have undertaken here in Oman for the preservation of the archival documents of the Indian diaspora in this country will, we believe, not only contribute to preserving their unique histories, but also enable a better understanding of their experiences, adventures and contributions.
Now, the much anticipated Agniban rocket launch from Sriharikota has once again been postponed. The launch was thwarted by technical problems that surfaced before the scheduled launch time at the Satish Dhawan Space Centre. Despite the setbacks, the team remains committed, demonstrating remarkable resilience to their mission. And still to come in DD India NewsHour, French President Emmanuel Macron urges Europeans to defend themselves and not just rely on the US. And Cannes Film Festival 2024, which has been a remarkable year of achievements for India, will get you a wrap.
As India decides in the world's largest election,
we help you feel the pulse of the nation.
I am Sakal Bhatt.
I am Shubhendu Ghosh.
This election season, join us on a journey of India.
We are in Assam. This is the tea city of India.
From down south, Tamil Nadu.
Discover the colors of democracy.
Gateway to northeast of India.
Coastal state of Kerala. Watch Poll Pulse on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India NewsHour. I'm Gautam Roy. Now, French President Emmanuel Macron has urged Europeans to defend themselves better against enemies and not just rely on the US. Macron is on a 3-day visit to Germany. He called for the European Union's budget to be doubled for necessary investments after the upcoming European elections, but left the exact funding open. "17 Republic Days being observed and celebrated across Nepal. The day commemorates movements and aspirations of the people towards the transition of the Himalayan nation from a monarchy to a republic. A special function was organized at the Army Pavilion in Tundikhail. It was attended by President, Vice President, Chief Justice and other dignitaries. And now it's time to get you all the sporting updates as well. The big story has been, of course, since yesterday, the end of an era. 14-time French Open champion Rafael Nadal crashing out to his earliest exit in the French Open on Monday after a 6-3, 7-6, 6-3 first-round defeat by 4th seed Alexander Zverev. Zverev became only the third man to beat Nadal at Roland Garros after Novak Djokovic and Robin Soderling. Many believe this was his first, or rather final appearance at the French Open, but he set aside his retirement talks. The 22 times major champion, who won the Musketeers Cup for the first time in 2005 and last raised the trophy in 2022 before a serious hip injury derailed his career, had previously said this year could be his final one on the tour, but now it seems he may skip Wimbledon and then wait for the Paris Olympics. And it was a year of achievements for India at the Cannes Film Festival this year. It was a triple feat for Indian talent, which included Payal Kapadia's All We Imagine As Light, Chidanand S. Nayak's Sunflowers Were the First Ones to Know, and Anusuya Sen Gupta's The Shameless. Munwan Bhattacharya has more.
Laurels after laurels. India won big at the Cannes Film Festival 2024. A wait of many decades got over when All We Imagine Is Light by Indian director Payal Kapadia won the coveted Grand Prix prize, the second spot in one of the toughest competition lineups. The only other Indian filmmaker to win the Grand Prix at Cannes was Chetan Anand for Nichanagar in 1946. Grand Prix used to be the top prize then. All We Imagine Is Light was the first Indian film in 30 years to be showcased in the main competition.
There are interesting films being made in India, and I'm only a product of that because there is a lot of films, a lot of interesting filmmakers, such variety of work in all languages.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated Payal on her remarkable feat. Other Indians too notched up victories at the festival. Anusuya Sen Gupta became the first Indian actor to win an award for Best Performance at the festival. She was awarded for her performance in Bulgarian director Konstantin Bojanov's film The Shameless that screened in Uncertain Regard category of the festival.
The moments after the screening were just incredible. It really something else. Never in my life experienced something like that. You could see it's authentic. People were truly moved, and that was so moving.
Chidanand S. Nayak of the Pune-based Film and Television Institute of India received the first prize in the Last NF section of the festival for his student film Sunflowers Were the First Ones to Know.
It took us some time to believe it. We were not expecting the first prize. We were expecting that something good is going to happen. We were not expecting the first prize. But yeah, we are happy.
Indian director Mehsam Ali's In Retreat became the first Indian film to screen in the Acid Sidebar of Cannes. Other Indian films or films with an Indian connection were also screened at the festival. Indian cinematographer Santosh Sivan became the first Asian to receive the Pia Anjaneo Excellence in Cinematography Award at Cannes.
I think I ventured into this profession thanks to my dad, who was a photographer already. And so I used to travel with him. when you used to shoot, even as a child. So I think what fascinated me is the fact that you can travel.
Congratulatory messages from the film fraternity came pouring in.
Big congratulations to Mr. Santosh Seven, Wasanta, as we call him, for receiving the prestigious Peer Engineer Award at the Cannes Film Festival.
The 77th Cannes Film Festival was certainly a game changer for Indian filmmakers and the largest film industry in the world. India's showcase of its cinematic genius won applause, recognition and awards. Now only the Palme d'Or for the Best Picture awaits us. With cameraman YK Loknath, Munman Bhattacharya from Cannes for DD India.
And on that happy note, that's all we have for this edition of DD India News Hour. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code and download the app. We'll be back with more news and updates as the break here on DD India. That's the mobile app and the QR code that I was talking about. You can scan it right there on the screen and get to the app. Well, that's all we have for the moment in this edition of DD India News Hour. I'm Gautam Roy, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching the show.